Police. She just gave an update on exactly what happened. We do know those schools are now off lockdown. She just confirmed that there are two shooting victims. Both are 17 years old. Both are believed to be students from Auburn High School. We know that one student is a male, one 17-year-old male, and one 17-year-old female. We just learned that one student has serious injuries and the other student is expected to be okay. Chief Rec did confirm that multiple rounds were fired, and we're also learning that there were three people in a parking lot. They actually fled the scene. This all coming from the Rockford police chief, and those three people are in custody. Right now, we don't have too many details on exactly those three people that were involved, but we want to get to our William Ingalls, who's been live on the scene tracking all of that information. And William, you were just there at that press conference. Give us a replay of everything that Chief Red just talked about. We sent an alert to your phone telling you this scene was unfolding. And since then, our team has been dedicated to bringing you the very latest tonight. So let me share with you where the explosion actually happened. We're talking about western Stevenson County along Business 20 between Lily Creek Road and Ape Road. And that's where we find our William Ingalls tonight. He begins our team coverage. And William, I know you just spoke to a Stevenson County Sheriff's deputy out there on the scene. What can you tell us and what did you see tonight? I want to go back out to that breaking news out in Belvedere of that building collapse. Take a look at the scene right now. You can see multiple agencies out there investigating that building collapse. I want to give you the very latest before we go tonight. 160 people at that event. We know at least one person is confirmed dead tonight. 5 people with severe injuries, 5 with minor injuries, 28 with moderate injuries. We heard from Belvedere's fire chief, Chief Shadle, actually out there. He said multiple agencies responded to that scene. Also, a building across the street received some damage. They're searching for victims there now. That full roof collapse right in the center of the Apollo Theater out there in Belvedere. Of course, we will continue to follow this on air and online, but this is the live look right there right now. 5 people with severe injuries, 5 with minor injuries, at least one person confirmed dead. So our thoughts are definitely with everyone out there in Belvedere tonight, and we'll of course have the very latest online and on air, so stay with 13 WREX. And we just heard from Rockford Police Chief Carla Redd about an officer-involved shooting tonight on Linden Road. Now, we just learned that the officer shot the suspect armed with a gun inside of a home, and we do know that suspect was pronounced dead at the hospital tonight. Now, the Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force is leading this investigation. It's now out of the hands of Rockford Police. As that search for the shooter continues, the tragedy is extending here to the state line. Now, before we came on air, I spoke with a local mom. Her name is Wendy Schneider. She's super shaken up right now, and you could hear the fear in her voice as I was talking to her as she waits for her son, Scott, to get to safety. If you're just now joining us, 2 shooting victims, both 17 years old, this as the first week back to school from winter break. And another myth that I hear a lot of people talking about is the antibodies. They think after they get COVID, they have those antibodies in their system, and then they're like, okay, I'm protected from getting it again, and I don't need the vaccine. What do you have to say to those people? Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, Supreme Court confirmation hearing, it continues with a round of questioning. I spoke with Black women in law who say not only is this moment historic, it's long overdue. Out for Thanksgiving today, but right before students left for break at Oregon Elementary School, they got a very fluffy surprise. 13 News Today anchor Maggie Polstein has more on a new reading program helping kids succeed. Hair discrimination is real. Studies have found Black women are 1.5 times more likely than their counterparts to be sent home from work because of their hairstyle, and 80% more likely to change their natural hair texture or style to conform to expectations at work. But in Illinois, that's about to change.
I don't think I'm as good as them, but I'm going to give it a try. Let me put the mic down really quick, Will. Let's see what I got. Oh, all in the hips. And you gotta have your stance right, okay? All right, let's see if I can do it. Lean. I think I did okay for my first time playing a little bit of street hockey. This is just one of the activities you can do out here for Rockford City Market. You have something to say?
Is this the news?
This is the news. This is live news. You want to say hi to your mom?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Oh, yeah. There you go. Look, you got to pull it apart, make it real dramatic.
Got the cheese pull and everything. She says a good, big.
Good evening and welcome to 13 WREX's Black History Month special, Black Culture Amplified. I'm Brittany Hardaway. Well, we left the studio and decided to film in a place that holds so much meaning, here at the African American Resource Center at Booker. And as you can see, Black history is on full display.
Been together so long, so I'm so excited to be his wife. I can't wait. So if you see this extra bling on the desk, that's why.
Begin tonight with a follow-up to a devastating house fire rocking Boone County. 11 people pulled from the fire, with only 6 making it out alive. Among the 5 people dead are 3 young children. Now the community is doing their part to support the family. New aerial images show what's left of a Boone County home, leaving behind heartbreak and devastation.
I try to show up and bring as much hope as I can in a tragic situation, and obviously we're showing up on these people's worst days.
Brian Phillips, the chaplain for the Boone County Sheriff's Office, met with survivors hours after the blaze.
You know, in a hospital room where it's extremely difficult. You're just trying to help them through these initial moments of just the rawness of having lost loved ones and really facing the tragedy of not having anywhere to go.
In total, 11 people were inside when the fire started. The fire claiming the lives of 5 people, leaving 6 others hospitalized. Among the 5 people who passed away are 3 young children.
Let's be there for the family as much as we possibly can over the next 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months. You know, keep them in our prayers.
Firefighters racing to a fully engulfed home in Garden Prairie early Monday morning. With rubble and debris filling what used to be a home, the community is stepping up in a big way.
Cash donations are great, gift certificates from restaurants, stores, gas, everything.
Right now, donations are pouring in at Lucky Mustang's bar in Belvedere. We're getting a first look at all the items provided to victims.
Your heart goes out to this family, and it's just great to see the community all coming in and helping out.
As the community grieves the staggering loss of so many, hope and unity is top of mind.
Kindness and generosity goes far, even when we're stretched a little. So, you know, we want to do the best we can to be there for these people to help them rebuild, and a great expression of just love and God's love and kindness from a community to their family.
We've also learned the 3 children killed were students at Central Middle School and Whitman Elementary. Tomorrow, both schools are offering extra support staff for students in need. Northern Illinois is filled with important Black history. Nearly 200 years ago, a secret path to freedom was right here in the state line. Let's take you to Byron, Illinois, where a house still standing today was a stop on the Underground Railroad. Centuries of Black history in plain sight right in our community.
The house today is on the corner of Route 2 and Route 72.
The Reed House served as a route to freedom for Black people trying to escape slavery.
They came from Missouri and then jumped across the river and then worked their way toward the Chicago-Milwaukee area. And so Byron is on the very northern part of that. That was called the Northern Illinois Route.
Freedom seekers making the trek by way of the Underground Railroad.
A lot of people think the Underground Railroad was involved with secret rooms and tunnels.
It wasn't an actual railroad, but instead something even more remarkable and life-changing as we know it today.
A lot of the seekers would follow the Rock River up through Dixon into Ogle County and past Byron, so it was a natural place to stop.
The Underground Railroad was an organized secret network to freedom. The system even used railroading terms. Homes and businesses where Black people would rest and eat were called stations and depots, and the conductor was responsible for moving them from one station to the next.
This was a real thing. It really did happen, and we have specific proof about it.
Enslaved Black people traveling from the violence of their plantations to seek safety in northern cities.
Church members would get together at night and figure this out. They would contact the people in, say, Polo and say, send a message ahead saying, I am sending 3 packages tomorrow to arrive, 2 large crates and 1 small crate. Well, of course, that meant people.
In Byron, Lucius Reed's house provided sanctuary for escaping slaves.
The Reeds, like most Congregational church members, were anti-slavery, and they were willing to risk breaking federal law to assist those passengers that came through.
The law at the time was the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. It required slaves be returned to their owners even if they were in a free state. The Reed family going against the grain, helping them hide, but it wasn't easy.
The slave catchers weren't stupid. They would pose as conductors, somebody who would help, when in reality they were to trap them. There was trickery on both sides.
That's why secret codes were so necessary.
For instance, if you were in Missouri and you were looking for a place to cross the Mississippi River, you wouldn't say that. You would say, we're looking to cross the River Jordan. Because that could be something you heard in the sermon last week. You'd say, we want to arrive in the land of Canaan. That's code for Canada. And there was a whole lot of other code words along with that.
Once freedom seekers made it to Byron, families like the Reeds would use every part of their home as a safe haven.
It's one of the oldest brick houses. It's 2 stories. It's a very, very typical, and it has a cellar. That cellar, back in the slave days, was entered secretly from the backyard of the Reed house.
On the destination to freedom, black escapees and conductors always had to stay one step ahead.
Somewhere along the route, if it didn't happen before Byron, somebody would have to create false documents for them, because every black person, free or slave, had to carry papers to show their status.
Dan Wykes, an educator with the Byron Museum, says freedom seekers came from Polo to Byron and then to Lindenwood, Illinois. But some places, even up north, weren't safe.
They would skip Mount Morris because that's kind of on the route, because Mount Morris was founded by people from Maryland, which is a slave state. And so they couldn't be sure of the politics of the people in Mount Morris.
The Underground Railroad had many notable participants, but the freedom seekers were the real heroes, risking their lives for a better tomorrow and exposing the grim realities of slavery.
There's where the real bravery was. For a white conductor, yes, they were at risk legally, but their life wasn't at risk. But as a traveling freedom seeker, you were at risk the entire time.
A World War II veteran honored for his years of service in the U.S. Army with a dream flight. It was a ride to remember for a man who gave his all to protect and serve our country. A dream come true for World War II veteran Harlow Rosborough.
Well, I haven't been in an airplane in years and years, so it'll be a real neat experience for me.
Dream Flights, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to serve veterans, offers them rides in World War II planes.
They first served us by putting their lives on the line to protect America and to protect our freedoms. And so this is just a way for us to say thank you and give back to these men and women that sacrificed so much for us.
At the age of 94, Harlow Rosborough has been through a lot, serving in the U.S. Army as a demolition specialist.
And we blew up Japanese small submarines, and we just blew up all kinds of stuff. Artillery, Japanese artillery, and tanks.
With a wealth of stories to share, this American hero says he's ready for takeoff.
Oh, it don't make me nervous.
I'm just glad he got to live as long as he has. I'm so emotional, I'm sorry.
Harlow's daughter, Candy, filled with joy watching her dad fly high.
He is agile, he was able to get in the plane, get out of the plane, and he could actually physically do this today. Physically do it, which is we just thank God for that.
And as the plane landed, Harlow welcomed back with a special tribute.
From all of us throughout the whole nation, and especially the ones of us with the Illinois Patriot Guard Riders, we appreciate your service to our country and God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
To seal the deal,
Give us your John Hancock there.
Harlow leaving his mark.
He's on the plane. He did it. He was up there. This is proof. He did it. Harlow Rosborough.
His name forever stamped on this plane
Beautiful.
and sketched in our hearts. Yeah, and Harlow, we thank you so much for your service. And Dream Flights is just getting started. They've launched Operation September Freedom. The goal is to fly over 1,000 veterans before the end of this month. I know they can do it. And if you have anyone in mind for them, be sure to reach out to them on Facebook or on their website, dreamflights.org.